Hey fam, welcome to the Flirty 15. I am your host today, Heidi B. For those of you that are new here, I am a speaker, author, and relationship expert, and I just published my first book, Relationship Ready, How I Stopped Fucking Randos and Started Cupcaking My Soulmate. I am so excited that you're joining me for today's Flirty 15. First of all, this is the first Flirty 15 in a series. I'll be going live every day for 30 days straight for 15 minutes. Hey girl! To talk about all things love, dating, and relationships. And then after that, I'll have a regular series where I'm on once a week. I would love for this to evolve into a platform where we can interact live, where I can add you to the live, and we can talk about whatever is going on with you. We can do some hot seat relationship coaching or dating coaching, or where you send me your questions and I answer them whenever. So I'm totally open to what the format turns into, and I really honestly cannot wait to see where it goes. Well, listen, I promised you that I'd be zhuzhed up for this session, and I feel zhuzhed and ready to go. So what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about my biggest and best breakup tip. The number one tip that I give to everyone that's going through a breakup. If you've been around before, if you're familiar with me and Heidi B coaching, I'm sure you've heard me give this tip, but I think it is so valuable that I will talk about it. I mean, I would shout it from the rooftops. I would talk about it all the time. It is by far the most useful breakup tip I have ever come across. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about my experience with it and share with you how it was so helpful for me. Oh, hey, Ashley. Hey, Tiffany. So I have been through a couple of really horrendous breakups in my life. And the biggest, probably the most tumultuous, the biggest one was my divorce. I got divorced. I was married for 5 years from 2005 to 2010. I got divorced in 2010. I'm happily remarried, thankfully. And that's because I got relationship ready and started cupcaking my soulmate. So in my first marriage and the divorce that ensued, I really felt like, it was required for me to constantly be in contact with my ex so that I could make sure that he knew that I hadn't intended to get divorced, that I wasn't some kind of like raging bitch, that I had all this explaining to do is the point. At the time, I was seeing a therapist who was working with me on the divorce stuff and kind of walking me through it. And, he asked me a couple of questions about why I felt like I needed to be in contact with my ex. And aside from some logistic stuff, we did have some property that we needed to split up. We did not parent any kids. We didn't have any children together or parent any children together, but we had some just logistic stuff to separate. And I said, well, I really need him to know. I just really need him to know that I am not like this horrible person. And this therapist I was seeing kind of leaned forward, put his hands together, put his hands on his chin like this. And he said, Heidi, we don't always get the closure that we think we're entitled to. And I would suggest you refrain from contacting your ex unless it has to do with the logistics of dividing your property. And I just didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear it. And then when I heard it, I was totally mind blown, because we have this kind of cultural construct that that we're entitled to closure, that we're going to go through some horrible breakup, and that at the end of the day, we're going to be able to talk it out, and we're going to be friends, and we're going to stay in each other's lives and all that stuff. And I personally finally came to a place where I realized that if we could be friends, we wouldn't be breaking up. And so it doesn't make any sense for me to try to jam this square peg in this round hole and to insist that there be this kind of closure and ensuing friendship. So this therapist had suggested to me that I start to consider what closure might look like without constant contact with my ex. And at the same time, my mom, of all people, was suggesting to me that I do something called 30 days no contact. So she suggested that I send a very short message to my ex just to say, hey, I need to have a break from you. I need to do 30 days no contact. If you need to contact me regarding the division of our property, please just send me an email and I'll respond to that. And when she suggested that, I seriously, I wanted to throw up because I just could not handle the idea of putting out a boundary like that and not managing somebody's response to it. And I also didn't totally understand, but you know what? I had just enough willingness to do it. And so I went ahead and sent that message. And then something truly magical started to happen, which was that when I wasn't interacting with my ex every single day, when I wasn't trying to show up, hey Sarah, when I wasn't trying to show up every day to like convince my ex that I wasn't this or wasn't that, or that things were this way or that way, I started to gain some freedom from the chaos of the situation. So I started to gain just this, I guess I would actually call it like this emotional bandwidth, where I discovered that like not every waking moment was like twisted up in what was going on in my divorce. And it gave me the emotional bandwidth to turn my attention to building a new life, figuring out what I might really like, exploring stuff that made me happy. So I needed the emotional bandwidth that I had been giving to the chaos of my divorce in order to like rebuild my life. So that's it, people. The number one, my best breakup tip is to do 30 days, no contact with your ex. I guarantee you, you need the emotional bandwidth more than you think you do. I guarantee you, you will hate the idea of it. I guarantee you, it will make you want to throw up in your mouth. I guarantee you, you can do it anyway by using the simplest form of the truth, which is you just send a quick message that says, I need 30 days, no contact from you. Period. Done. Please do not call me, do not text me, do not email me. That's it. You don't even have to say, I'll be in touch when I'm done. You can literally just say those few messages and send them out and like put your phone in the freezer and go for a walk. I always say put your phone in the freezer. It's just a metaphor. Don't put your phone in the freezer. You will have a very expensive frozen piece of technology. But like after you send those messages to your ex or to whoever it is that you are enmeshed with in this toxic way, turn your phone off, put it in a drawer, go for a walk without it, because the way we are conditioned to interact on our technology is that, we're used to hitting the tennis ball over the net by sending the message and then waiting. Is he responding? Are the ellipses there? Is something going on? Did they get it? Is their read receipt on? No, girl, no. You send the message, you turn your phone off, you put it in a drawer, and you go for a walk without your phone. So you are not obsessing about it. Or so even if you are obsessing about it, you don't have it in your hot little hand to look at. Okay. So that really, really worked for me in order to get me through one of the most chaotic times of my life, which was the turmoil of my first divorce. The second thing, I want to give you another example of this though. Using this 30 days no contact can really help us with those guys, because there's a second type of example. So in the first example, in my divorce, that relationship was over. There really wasn't any going back and forth. There wasn't much talk of like, should we get back together? Should we get divorced? It was mostly like I wanted to convince him that I was a good person, right? The second type of relationship where this 30-day no contact is really useful is when you're going back and forth with someone. When you're on again and off again, which as we all know can be so freaking painful. On again, off again, on again, off again, on again, off again. Now after my divorce, I became the queen of on again, off again, really kind of going to all the lengths of like being on with somebody and then sending them a message like, oh my God, you're no good for me. I can't do this. So we have to end it. Just the drama. Oh my God. It's like, is it drama? Is it being 30? Is it like immaturity? I don't know. It's a combination of all the things, right? So the drama of being like, I can't do this anymore. You're no good for me. We have to break up. Send. Then tick, 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 tick. Literally 30 seconds later, getting my phone back out and saying, oh my God, this is so hard for me. You don't understand how hard this is for me. I can't believe this. This is so hard for me. And then before I knew it, he would be responding like, well, if this is so hard for you, then maybe we shouldn't be off. Maybe we should be on. Maybe I should come over. And I'm saying yes. And now we're starting all over again. So if you are finding yourself in an on again, off again situation, I will say 30 days, no contact is the best rule. Because again, it gives you the emotional bandwidth and the physical space from being on again, off again with somebody. And so it really can help you get some clarity on what it is that you're looking for. The other thing about 30 days, no contact, it's 30 days for a reason. So do not break it at 27 days is not enough. 29 days is not enough. I really would encourage you to go the full 30 days, okay? So full 30-day no contact. And again, the simplest form of the truth works here. And if you need to draft this message before you send it to somebody, draft it and DM it to me. I want to hear your 30-day no contact messages. Send them to me in my DMs or send me a voice memo. Like I am legit here to help you hold your hand through a 30-day no contact breakup. It's challenging stuff, but I assure you on the other side of it, you will feel so good. Okay. So that is the 30-day no contact rule. It is, like I said, literally the best breakup tool in the breakup toolkit. It will give you physical distance, emotional distance, mental distance, the regaining of bandwidth. I cannot speak its praises more than I already have. So when you're going through a bad breakup, you gotta have 30 days, no contact with the ex in order to just get some clarity. Hey, Megan, I'm so glad this is landing for you. I love it. It's so important to get that clarity about what it is that you want for yourself, what it is that you want for your future. I will tell you that a lot of times when I found myself enmeshed in a relationship that was either toxic or on the edge of toxic, I had lost a lot of myself. I didn't know what it was that I even liked anymore. So I needed 30 days no contact in order to figure out, like, do I like camping? Jury's out. For a long time, I didn't like camping, but I'm actually in the process of changing my mind around that. Do I like going out every night? Do I like going clubbing? Do I like going to a casual place? All of these, how do I like to eat? Actually, my very favorite example of this is, for those of you that are 80s babies, you will probably remember Runaway Bride with the, oh my God, Be Still My Beating Heart, Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, one of my all-time faves. In the movie, Julia Roberts plays a woman named Maggie who is engaged and can never make it down the aisle. And one of the kind of quirks that comes along with this for her is that no matter who she's engaged to, that is how she eats her eggs for breakfast. So if he likes his eggs over easy, so does she. If she likes his eggs fried, so does she. If he likes his eggs scrambled, so does she. You get the picture. So part of the process for Julia Roberts in this movie, for her character Maggie, is she has to figure out how she likes her eggs. So I want you, if you're doing a 30-day no contact, or if you're in the middle of a big breakup, I want you to think about, how do I like my eggs, as a metaphor for exploring what it really is that you like to do in your life, that you enjoy spending your time doing. And I guarantee you, if you take the 30 days no contact and you regain the emotional bandwidth that you've been putting into the chaos of the breakup, you're gonna have so much more space for your creative pursuits, for whatever it is that you're into, whether it's like making art, making music, working out, all of the things that bring you joy, you can start to discover again when you're not spending all of your time and energy trying to either convince someone not to leave you, convince someone to get back together, manage how the breakup is going, deal with the bullshit that comes along with parting ways. So I am just, this has been such an awesome Flirty 15. I will be here again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. You can catch the Flirty 15 on my IGTV. You'll be able to catch it, I guess, on replay here. I'm not quite up to speed on the technology, but I'm going to be posting it everywhere. Also, I love doing one-on-one work with women around this stuff. So if you are really hurting or tired of doing the same old thing in your relationships and getting the same old shit on the other side, I want to help you identify and change those patterns of relationship. I love working one-on-one with clients. Don't forget that you can hop over to Amazon to pick up the book in paperback on in paperback on Kindle or on Audible. And yes, send me all of the questions that you have, anything you'd like me to weigh in on via DM. Like I said, I'll be here every day for the next 30 days, and then we'll move into a not less consistent, but just like once a week or twice a week format. So I am thrilled to be here and to be of service to you. That is my commitment to the Flirty 15, is that I want to serve and help women who are having painful relationship stuff, who are in the shit when it comes to dating the same old guy and getting the same old thing, or the same old gal. And I think that's how I'm going to wrap it up. Otherwise, the last thing is that you can head over to my website, HeidiBcoaching.com, subscribe to my mailing list, and then I will send you a freebie. I think right now the freebie is a webinar on people pleasing. And then I will also send you the weekly podcast episode. Thank you so much for joining me. See you guys tomorrow.